So in our PowerSchool class page, you'll open up the instructions for the favorite movie tables assignment under Word Module 3. And these are the instructions that you'll use to create your favorite movie table. So starting with a blank document, you need to get that saved into our Module 3 folder. The desktop, your business tech, Word, and Module 3. And then we are going to call this My Favorite Movies. So that was the second step. Next, we're going to insert a table. So we want to have a 4x6 table. So that's 4 columns across the top and 6 rows. And you can see that it says there 4x6 table. And it is in there. So we have 4 columns of information. We are going to change our font. So go to the Home tab, change the font to bold, Arial, and we are going to type in our headings, size 14, and you could choose a color of your choice. So you'll get your headings in there. Notice that it only changed the heading, all that font on the first table or the first cell that I was in. So I'm highlighting that, choosing my format painter, and I'm going to apply that formatting to the rest of the headings. Our next instruction is that we're going to change to landscape. So right now it's portrait, up and down. We want to change to landscape. So we have side to side. So if I go to layout and then orientation, I'm going to change it to landscape. So now our paper is side to side. So if you want to change your view, you could zoom out and see that it's side to side. Next, we're going to insert a row above. So I'm going to click in my top row, and I'm going to insert a row above. So I'm going to right click, insert, and then row above. And we want this to all be one giant cell. So we call that merging. So when I have my table selected, I have some additional tabs up here. So I want this first row to be merged. So I'm going to select merge cells. And then I also want it to be centered. So I'm going to go to the Home tab and center. Now that I have that done, I'm going to type in a title, top favorite movies, and then change some of that font. So I want to change it to size 18, chalkboard, and then I'm going to use a text effect found here on the Home tab, my text effects, and I want to choose this one, the fill white, outline blue, accent color 1. And now my table looks like this. Next, I'm going to select my table again. I'm going to go to Table Design, and I'm going to choose one of these table designs, these pre-made table designs, specifically one of the grids. So any of these grids of your choice, I'm going to choose a blue one. So now my table looks like that. And now I'm going to fill in my favorite movies. So this is all going to look different for everybody. But how you're going to find this information is you are going to go to a website called IMDb and find all the information you needed. So I searched my favorite movie, Rudy. So I'll come back in here, type in my movie title. This was in 1997. The genre would be biography, drama, or sport. And the rating was 7.5 out of 10. I can leave it like that. So you'll do that for all of your favorite movies. We're going to change the font of all the movie information. So the font will change on the Home tab. Change it to Arial font, size 12, and again, the color of your choice. And we'll continue to fill out the rest of our movies using that website, IMDb, to pick out your next 4 movies. Now that I have all my information in the table, the 5 favorite movies that I have, all in the table with the information that's needed, the next instruction says to widen or shorten the column so that all the information fits neatly on one line. Because you'll notice that my genre has to go into 2 lines. So I'm going to make the year column smaller because it doesn't require that much information. So if you get in between the lines of the table, the columns there, notice that I got a 2-way arrow that allows me to move the width of the column. So that's probably all I need to do there. I might make the rating a little bit smaller because it doesn't need that much space. And then do the same. Scooch these over to get my movie titles all to fit on one line. The next instruction is to change the height of the table. So I'm going to go into my table design and layout. And right now my height is 0.35. 0.37. I'm going to change that to 0.35. So not a big change, but it made all the heights of the rows the same. Next, I want to make these cells in alphabetical order based on my title. So in order to do that, we'll need to go into our layout, and then we're sorting A to Z. So I'm going to highlight those 5 movies and sort A to Z. And I want to sort by column 1. In ascending order would be A to Z. And then click OK. Now they're in order alphabetically based on column 1. Notice I did not have the heading column selected because I want that to remain at the top. So I just selected my movie information. Next thing that we're going to do is center the data in the table horizontally. So I'm just going to select our whole table, go to the Home tab, and select Center. So now everything's within the table is centered horizontally. I'm also going to select our table. So up here I have my 4-way arrow, select the table, and I could center it that way. So now it's centered horizontally. And I also want to center it vertically. So I'm going to click over here, how we've done before, double click on my ruler and layout. And instead of top, we want to have center. So now it's centered side to side and up and down. I'm going to change another couple things with my table. So I need to select my table, and it says to uncheck the first column option. So I'm in my table design, and notice that I have header, banded rows, and first column selected. That means that there's formatting in those locations. So my header row is formatted differently. I have banded rows, which means they're every other blue, white, blue, white. I'm going to uncheck first column because notice how it had our first column in bold. Now I still want my heading in bold, so you might need to change that back to bold, but I didn't need to have everything in that first column bold. So that is how we uncheck the first column. Now I'm going to go to the bottom, add my name after the table. Notice how if I hit enter, it adds a new row. We don't want to do that. So we need to click below the table, put your name, and then we're going to select it and add 36 points of spacing after. So I'm in the Home tab, line spacing button, and then space before the table to 36. So now we have that space, and that is what a completed movie table document should look like.